Only from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
And we're talking with the forbidden archaeologist Michael Cremo about this incredible discovery of ancient human-type creatures called Homo naledi, with brains about one-third the size of a human, and they buried their dead. Strange story. We'll take your calls with him when we come back. Another healthcare data breach to report. Here we go. Managed Care of North America, a major insurance company, suffered a data breach that exposed the personal information of nearly 9 million patients. The hackers had access to these systems from Feb 26 to March 7 of this year, compromising confidential patient information such as full names, addresses, birth dates, driver's licenses, phone numbers, social security numbers, and protected health information. If exploited, the cyber criminals can use this information to commit identity theft. It's so important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Your personal information gets exposed so often, making it dangerously easy for a cyber criminal to steal your identity. Protecting your identity can be easy with LifeLock. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats that you may not spot on your own. Loans taken out in your name, like crimes committed by thieves pretending to be you. And if you do become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. Join now, save up to 25% off your first year with promo code GEORGE. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head on over to LifeLock.com. Use promo code GEORGE for 25%.
I want you to feel good, be healthy, and live long. That's why I want you to know about CriticalHealthNews.com, an information-packed website that's enlightening everyone about good health via proper nutrition and supplementation, instead of promoting the failed model of toxic prescription drugs with their side effects and unnecessary surgeries that make you worse, not better. Lots of people talk about vitamins, but only one source I know of says that without all 90 essential nutrients the body needs to function, vitamins alone will not work. Go to CriticalHealthNews.com, listen to the fascinating lectures, watch the intriguing videos, and read the articles that make a whole lot of sense. Your knowledge of good health will increase and materialize into an aha moment. The information's free, and the products you can purchase online may well change your life for the better.
Go to CriticalHealthNews.com or call 1-855-949-RADIO, 1-855-949-7234, 1-855-949-RADIO. And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with Michael Cremo and your calls this hour. Michael, I know this is speculation, but what remains to be discovered out there? What do you think?
Well, I think what I've been able to document is just the tip of the iceberg. If we're talking about evidence for extreme human antiquity, I think we have to consider we haven't really looked at the whole Earth. And we've excavated in a few places, but it's been the evidence that's been discovered has been subjected to what I call knowledge filtration. So we're not getting all the facts, all the discoveries that have been made. We're only getting the ones that fit the current paradigm. Those are the ones you find in the textbooks. But I think we have to look beyond the textbooks. And when we do that, we find quite a bit. And I think there's quite a bit more that remains to be uncovered. And that's true not just in terms of archaeology. I think it's also in terms of the UFO phenomenon, consciousness phenomenon. I think we look at the world and organize our societies.
And it's long overdue, Michael, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Let's take some calls from you. Joe, Long Island, New York, east of the Rockies to get us started. Hey, Joe, go ahead.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I have two questions. The second's on Egypt, but my first question is, we share supposedly 75% of our genetics with a dog, 93% with a monkey. And, you know, when you see behavior of people where, for example, at least 7 people went over Niagara Falls in a barrel, you do wonder if there's a genetic anomaly where people would do something like that, where the behavior would not be checked and balanced, where it's a little bit insane to do this. So that would be my one question. Are there genetic anomalies? And my second question would be about ancient Egypt and stuff that seems to be carried forward right to the present from ancient Egypt. Now, for example, you have that deity Pan, and that was carried forward into Pan American Airlines, which supposedly, you know, the idea of Pan covering everywhere, South America, North America, and the Panama Canal. So how much of what's going on now has been kind of brought forward from ancient Egypt in terms of, you know, verbiage and beliefs?
Let's take that one first, Michael.
Well, Egypt is a very popular destination, and people go there to be inspired by the really inexplicably advanced technology that was necessary to construct things that have been seen there. Like the pyramids is still a mystery how they were put together, and what their actual purpose wasn't understood, isn't very well understood, and how they were able to do stonework, you know, where they had to have stone boxes carved with perfect right angles, 90-degree angles, cuts in them. It's really quite amazing. So they had a civilization at that time that, from the records that have been left, incorporated a picture of reality that included consciousness and spirit and extraterrestrial beings and all types of things like that we currently don't recognize, and I think our civilization is suffering because of it. So, in terms of history, you know, there are Egyptian pharaoh lists that go back hundreds of thousands of years. So I think there's something there that can be very helpful for our understanding of our current world.
And also he was wanting to know about genetic anomalies.
Genetic anomalies. What the relationship between genetics and behavior is not very well understood. There may be some link there, but I think there's more to a human being than chemistry. I think that's part of the picture. You know, we have a body that has chemical elements as its structure. You know, proteins are made of different molecules of different elements. So that's part of what we are. But I think we have a mental body as well, which can be influenced not just by genetics, but by different energies. And some personalities, they get attracted by certain energies that result in the kinds of destructive behaviors that you're talking about. So if somebody keeps in contact with that type of energy, energy of darkness, illusion, chaos, that they may do the kinds of things that you were talking about. But if someone is able to maintain contact with more positive energies and put that type of energy out, they're going to be better off. They won't be doing those kind of self-destructive things.
Michael, let's go back to the beginning. How did you get involved with this kind of work and research?
Well, I think I've always had, from as far back as I can remember, even into childhood, I've had a sense of wanting to know what the truth is about things. Even on a very, very simple level, I've always been interested. What's really going on here? And I think I've also always had a sense of justice, wanting to be treated fairly myself and see others treated fairly as well. So I think there's everybody has to analyze what their core values are, because that's going to determine a lot of the way in which we behave in the world. So I think I've always had core values like that. And in terms of what more directly inspired the path I've taken is that I think I always had some inner sense that there's more to reality than what's being currently available to me. That I want to push the boundaries a little bit. So I've always had a tendency like that. And that's led me into a spiritual path that comes from the Vedic tradition of India, because I found it satisfied a lot of those core values that I have. Because everyone has to find their own way in this world. So those are some of the factors that have led me on this search for truth, even if it doesn't correspond to the conventionally accepted ideas that are out there in society. It would be nice to live in a time when your core beliefs are shared by all the elites in the society that you're part of. But sometimes we don't have that luxury, and we have to go our own way.
Let's go to Thomas in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show. Hey, Tom, go ahead.
Okay, George. I have a question for your guest.
Sure.
I heard archaeologists found 6 swaths in Solano in South America somewhere. I can't remember what it was. I was hoping to get your just opinion on the connection between panspermia, evolution, and Maria.
Okay, panspermia is the idea that life didn't originate on Earth. I think Francis Crick, one of the co-discoverers of the spiral structure,
Came in on comments and stuff.
he figured out that you can't really explain it so much in terms of the universe in enough time for it to have happened by random interaction of chemicals. So he suggested this idea of panspermia, thinking that it happened a long, long time ago somewhere else in the cosmos, that the Earth has been seeded. And some people combine that with the idea of panpsychism, that life can't be explained just by chemicals. They have to assume that matter on some level is conscious, and that's what gives the appearance of life forms on Earth. So there are ideas like that. I don't know if does that answer your question?
Wondering if perhaps you could attack that analysis on a six-hole different slots, mummified several dozen years. I was hoping to get your opinion on projection between this panspermia and evolution of the human race.
Okay. I believe that there is extraterrestrial intervention that results in our human-like form here. This goes back to the idea that ultimately, as a conscious, personal, individual self, which we all are, we're all conscious, we're all individual, we're all personal. None of us are from here. We're from some other place, some realm of pure consciousness. When we come to the alien world of matter, we need vehicles in which to function here. Like normally I walk around on the land. If I want to exist as an alien element like water, I need a vehicle like a submarine or a diving suit to get around here. Where does it come from? It comes from engineers who understand if I want to live underwater, I gotta have a machine like that. So that's where our bodies come from. The seeds for our bodily vehicles come from an extraterrestrial source. So you could say that there's a source for that panspermia that gives us our human form in which we can ask questions like this and try to understand the answers.
What is the cradle of humankind World Heritage Site? What is that?
But that's a place in South Africa. It's kind of north of Johannesburg. It's where they have some sites that have been very important in the modern scientific picture of human origins, like the Sears caves that I was mentioning earlier. I've been to this World Heritage Site, the Cradle of Humanity, and when you go there, you go into a museum, and the first thing you see is an exhibit that tries to answer the question, discover yourself, what are you? And the answer it gives is very materialistic. Quotes one scientist who said, "We are purely material beings. We're robot vehicles programmed to preserve the selfish molecules known as genes." So it's a very dark picture of what our identity is. So it's kind of, I don't know if I would really call it the cradle of humanity. I would call it kind of the cradle of materialism or something like that. But it's still a very interesting place. I've been at the Stanfontaine Caves there, where discoveries of Australopithecus were made. So that's what the cradle of humanity is. It's a United Nations World Heritage Site in South Africa.
Michael, if we take Adam and Eve out of the equation for a moment, and the religious connotations tied into that, how did the first human beings come, and where did they come from? I mean, what were their parents like?
I don't know if it's possible to take out the first male and female human beings. I would say, because it's a big mystery where that came from, that method of reproduction.
I mean, would they have come from Neanderthal and they just evolved or something like that? Cro-Magnon men?
I think it's important to understand, from my point of view, that any body, whether it's a male body, a female body, a human body, a Neanderthal body, a plant body, an animal body, it's a vehicle for a soul, a conscious self. That's what it is. And among the different kinds of vehicles, the human one is the most important one because it's in the human vehicle that we have the opportunity to ask the kinds of questions we're talking about and try to understand the answers and really solve the problems of human existence, the chief of which are we're in temporary vehicles that will come into existence at one point in time and go out of existence at one point in time. That's the main difficulty that we have on this level of reality. But the conscious self doesn't have to be in that situation. It can be in a situation where it's existing without any threat of having to change its body or come in existence or go out of existence. It just always is.
Let's talk more about that, Michael, and I definitely have to ask you the question about the chicken or the egg, and then we'll take final calls.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
We've been talking about 100 years of paranormal study, but things are still in flux. When are we ever going to get the answers we really want?
I gotta be honest with you, George, I think we really are close. Here in the United States, the vast majority of the population is not going to believe in UFOs until we have something on radar. Well, the fact is, not only do we have something on radar, but we have Navy cockpit videos, among other things, that have been validated by the Department of Defense.
What do you think is changing the perception? Is it obvious that's why they have to come forward with this information now?
The fact is, no serious person can say UFOs don't exist. I mean, that position does not exist anymore. The answers may be very elusive, but the existence and the evidence is as plain as any we've got. And it's an exciting time to be alive. We know that life is not exclusive to Earth, and that's an extraordinary thing.
Where do you store crucial information when you travel? Stuff like your medical directives, list of allergies, that kind of stuff. At best, it's in your computer, but that won't help you if something goes wrong on the road. I'm Rudy Maxa with today's Travel Minute from Rudy Maxa's World. Check out mytravelsticks.com. That's S-T-I-X. There you'll find several products that look like thick credit cards with big colorful type that says, in one case, Adventurer. More importantly, a 2 gigabyte flash drive folds out of that card and you can insert it into any USB port. What you'll get are forms you can fill out that answer questions important to someone who might need to care for you in an emergency. And you can scan and add things to your travel sticks like your